Yeah. What's up, Ebony? What's up, Amari? Yeah. Tonight we talking about don't be stupid. Don't be that motherfucker. We're gonna let everybody pile up in here. So I'm gonna yip yap and jaw jack until we get some more people up in here. What y'all got going on in the chat room? Holla at me. What's on y'all mind? Shit, this is good weed. Whew, I got some what is this? This is Blueberry Kush. What's up, Evan? What's up, Ty Quinn? What's up, Quan? See Vesey. I just got back from Vegas. Y'all know this is the first time all year that I've gone to Vegas? Is it the first time? Yeah, this is I think this is probably the longest time in my life I've gone without driving to Vegas. Usually I go to Vegas at least 3 or 4 times a year. I don't even like Vegas like I used to, but I'll still go for a day turnaround or some shit. I ain't been to Vegas all year. I ain't been since last year. I just thought about that. I love that drive to Vegas. So relaxing. And I got some new tires on my car, so I had to test them hoes out. Yeah, it was cool. See, Dr. Short told me. Dr. Short told me he was gonna be in Vegas this weekend. So he told me when I was in DC, but I forgot. And then like he told me again like Thursday or Friday. I was like, yeah, Vegas to LA, 280 miles. So it take me about 3.5 hours to get to Vegas, and that's with a stop. That's with like a that's with a piss and a smoke break. I don't smoke in the car because the wife don't smoke. So I stop off at one of the rest stops and get rehydrated with the yeah. So yeah, when I say to the Virgin, I got a corner suite tonight. I was like, y'all got any upgrades for the cheapo, lipo? They was like, got you, Mr. Brown. That shit was dope. I ain't never stayed at the Virgin Hotel. That used to be the Hard Rock. I stayed there when it was a Hard Rock. It was cool, but I generally hate staying off the strip. When I go to Vegas, I like staying on Las Vegas Boulevard, on the strip, so I can take my mushrooms and go down there and walk the strip, looking at all the lights like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Yeah. Nah, then it's Dr. Sensei down there. What's up, Deandra? We're gonna get into it a little bit, talking about why not to be a goddamn idiot. We only 4 minutes in, so I want to get some more people up in here. Yeah, Vegas, those Vegas red lights ain't shit. If you miss a red light, you better pack a lunch in Vegas. I love Vegas. Like Dr. Trump, I think he has it up on his Twitter. He was recording. He was recording as I was driving. Hey, Mike. All right. It was Dr. Short's first time in Vegas, so we rode. I took him up and down the strip. And me, I'm like a low key mini Vegas historian because my parents have been taking me since I was like 5. My parents, going back to when I was 5, they would take us to Vegas 2 or 3 times a year, and then leave us at home 2 or 3 times a year to go by their damn self. Leave us with my grandmama. So I've seen Vegas change hotel by hotel over the last 35 years. I'm over here like, yeah, you see right there what the Bellagio is? That's where the dunes used to be. And you see over there where the wind is? That's where the sands used to be. And you see that's where the Stardust used to be. No, the dunes is where Treasure Island is. That's the Bellagio. That land used to always be over more than where Treasure Island is, where the dunes used to be. And then where the Mandalay Bay is, where the Hacienda used to be. I be laughing with my parents. I be telling my parents all the time. I be telling my parents all the time, like, man, y'all had us in Sin City when we was 9. And thing is, see, this is back in the 80s and the 90s. This is back in the 80s. My brother, I was like 9. My brother was 14 and my sister was 13. And my parents used to take us to the goddamn arcade at the Circus and leave us there and go downstairs and gamble. I was 9. Y'all would never do that with a 9-year-old today. You punk ass parents of today would be like, y'all got y'all 9-year olds on a leash. It'd be me, my sister, my brother. My sister would be playing like the little games to win the big ass teddy bears. My brother would be somewhere, and we wouldn't even be sitting. We wouldn't even be together. Circus had a big ass arcade, and then at the top of every hour, they used to give you a free circus show. Back in the 80s and the 90s, at the top of the hour, every hour, and then like as the 90s came along, it went from every hour to every other hour, then to every third hour. But it used to be like once an hour, like a 15-minute circus. And I would like whenever we run out of money, we just could sit down and watch the circus. And my parents be gambling to like 2 in the morning. Me, my brother, and my sister, we by ourselves in that arcade. What's up, Willie B man? Ain't no one here like a live in Vegas. No way I can live in Vegas. Vegas is somewhere like the best. I don't like being in Vegas more than 3 days. 2 days, 3 days, 2 nights. That's my max in Vegas. I don't go into 4 days, 3 nights in Vegas. No, it's time to get back to LA. 3 days, 2 nights. This time I was in there 2 days, 1 night, which was fine with me. I don't mind being there for 1 night, coming back home. 2 nights is my max in Vegas. I've gone too many times in my life to say more than 2 nights at a time because I know it's a good chance I'll probably be back in 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, but Vegas is fun, man. But here's the crazy part about Vegas, and I'm gonna get to the topic. I'm gonna get to the topic. We're only 8 minutes in. Here's the funny thing about Vegas. Vegas was more honest when it was run by the mafia. Let me say that again. Vegas was far more honest when it was run by the mafia. The corporations really, really got complete control of Vegas during the 90s and into but it was a slow move. See, but back when the mafia ran Vegas, man, I remember because my dad was cheap. I remember asking my dad, why did they take us? I was asking my dad like why he took us to Vegas so much. He was like, shit, 'cause it was cheap. I wasn't making no goddamn money. He's like, Vegas is the one place we can go and not spend no goddamn money. Because you get comp room. You didn't have to gamble that much to get comp rooms and comp food and comp shows. All the valet parking was free. I remember, even in the 2000s, like when I turned 21 in 2002, me and my boys started going to Vegas. Well, I would go when I was in my teenagers, but when I turned 21, me and my boys would go to Vegas every 2 or 3 months. We drive to Vegas. Sometimes we wouldn't decide to like Friday at 10 o'clock to go to Vegas, and we get to Vegas at goddamn 2, 3 in the morning. Go straight to a party, check into a hotel. Yeah, that's how much we would go. But even back then, I didn't gamble the whole. I would probably gamble $200 every time I went to Vegas. I always got free rooms. I would get free rooms. You get different memberships. It was all kind of dope shit. Yeah, $3 food, man. You was good. You could get to the buffet. They would comp your buffet. If you gambled, shit, I would gamble literally. I would literally only gamble like $200 for the whole weekend, and that would be enough to get like free rooms all year. Except for like if it was a fight weekend, then you couldn't get free rooms. Man, by the time the corporations got by time, because it was really Caesars, uh, Caesars Harris, that combination, and the Circus group, the Harris group, and the MGM group. They own everything in Vegas now. When all the now the hotels now charge for valet parking, they charge for regular parking. Everything's expensive. They hit your ass, your pockets at every angle they can now in Vegas. Vegas, they used to only want you to gamble, so everything else was cheap. What's up, Breeze? Hell yeah, the corporations are the new mafia. Hell yeah, corporations are the new mafia. Corporations are worse than the mafia. But what's the topic tonight? Oh shit, my lighter done fell. How the fuck that happened? Glad I saw it. What's the topic tonight? Yeah, I forgot. I'm talking about why you shouldn't be a dumbass, right? Oh yeah. I decided on this topic about a minute and a half before I went live. I wasn't gonna go live because I just got back from Vegas. I was gonna chill. Well, I'm like, man, let me talk about this. The importance of not being a dumbass. Yeah, don't be stupid. See, in society has been intentionally dumbed down, especially since the early 70s. In the early 70s, President Nixon changed our education system forever. And it went from the education model to the business model. Basically, they started treating school, but before Nixon, school budgets were to were enough to educate the society on the jobs that would become available. So that's why, and also how a totality how to live your life. That's why before Nixon, you could graduate high school with a full-on trade: plumbing, electrician, iron worker, woods craft, something like that. You knew how to take care of yourself because you were a home ec. You knew music. School made you well-rounded before Nixon in the early 1970s. All right, I'm giving you guys historical perspective. Y'all know me. I like to give historical perspective so we can look at the society we're in through context. Because the point of this isn't to judge, the point is to correct. Okay? You always have to remember we're all in different areas of our lives at different times. The area that you're most awake in now was one time in an area of your life you were most sleeping. And there are people out there who've been awake in that area long before you were born. It's levels to this life. So, and the point of life isn't to judge where you are versus where the man or woman next to you is. The point is to see where they are and see where you can, you know, look in the mirror and fix yourself, and if somebody else is willing to see how you can help them. But it ain't about, you bragging about how far you've gone in life. That's not what tonight's discussion is about. Because although my title is harsh, don't be a dumbass. Because I do believe in being, calling things as straight as they are. If you've been a dumbass, and I'm gonna say you've been a dumbass, but it's not me judging you saying that I'm better than you. It's just me calling a spade a spade. You've been a dumbass, and that's me hoping that okay, you'll take that you've been a dumbass to stop being a dumbass to educate yourself on whatever you've been a dumbass about, and stop being a dumbass about that. That's the whole point about this, dumbass. All right. But I like the word dumbass. I like the word dumbass. That's just funny to me. Like everybody, take a breath to go count to three, and at the end of three, just say dumbass, and see how it feels. One, two, three. Dumbass. Like a properly timed dumbass. Like you ever be somewhere chilling, and like especially like when you was a kid and you see somebody like walk into a window or some shit like that. You ever see somebody like walk into a glass door? There's nothing better in that moment than to say, dumbass. Maybe it's me because I'm silly as fuck. I'm sorry, some of y'all might be straight laced and that's not funny. They ran into the window. What if they hurt themselves? What if that's you? Uh, go suck a bug. To me, that shit's funny. Or like somebody walking down the street and they trip and they fall. Like I want to first see if they're good. Like I don't want them to break nothing. If they broke something, then I ain't gonna say nothing. But if they fail and they all right, what's your first response? Dumbass. You know what's up, Aries? So I ain't here, but just because I call you a dumbass don't mean that you a dumbass. It just means you a dumbass. That's all. I told y'all that story about my grandfather. My grandfather, rest in peace. When he was leaving his job in 1989, when he was retiring, he was training these Mexicans on how to cut up chickens. And I'm gonna get to the point for you dumb niggas that be like, he's good on tensions. If you ain't got no attention span, then that's your goddamn problem. But for those of you who got attention span, I'm gonna get back to the point. And if I lose my point, Quan or one of the mods gonna get me back in line. Anyway, my grandfather, he was training these Mexicans to take his job as he's retiring. And when he would quarter a chicken, that was the term that they used for cutting a chicken in the quarters. They call it quartering a chicken. When he would quarter his chickens, my grandfather, they said, could quarter chickens. He can quarter three chickens in a second. Like he was that good because he had been doing it forever. And he can weigh chickens with his hands. He can tell the difference between a 2.5 pound chicken versus a 2.3 ounce chicken just by his hand. So when he was cutting up the chicken, the Mexican guy was like, Mr. Percy, can you slow down? And my grandfather would be like, look here, you stupid motherfucker. And then he would cut the chicken up. Cut the chicken up. And then the Mexican guy was like, Mr. Percy, can you please slow down so I can watch how you cut the chicken? Then my grandfather would be like, you stupid motherfucker, you cut it like this. And then cut it real fast. He would not slow down. But he kept calling the dude a stupid motherfucker. So the dude goes up to the manager and tells the manager, the owner of the company, Mr. Percy keeps calling me a stupid motherfucker. So my grandfather, the owner of the company, calls my grandfather into the office. He's like, Percy, did you call him a stupid motherfucker? My grandfather looked at the owner and said, come on now, Sam. I didn't call that stupid motherfucker a stupid motherfucker. And walked out the office. Rest in peace, Poppy. Anyway, Nixon changed the education model from education to business. And when it changed to the business model, that's when the schools started cutting budgets. And how do I know this? I had a debate when I was when I was at Santa Monica College on the debate squad I was on when I was in college, 2001, and I had to do a debate on uh, for-profit prisons. And my teacher gave me the side to where I had to argue I support for-profit prisons. So if you're in a debate, you're at your best when you learn the other side's argument. So this is a very important debate that I had. It was worth a third of my grade. So I had to go in and study and find out why the cost of for-profit prisons, and like the whole history of the prison system, so I could pull that out of my back pocket when I was debating this white boy. I'm not losing to no white person in a debate when I'm in college, you dig? I'm not losing to anybody. So when I go down this rabbit hole studying for-profit prisons, I learned this factoid. Don't tell me look it up now because I'm not. There's some shit that I did in college, and I'm not about looking up for you niggas right now. You look it up. But you can look it up and find since 1971, every dollar taken out of the school system has been put directly into prisons, dollar for dollar. And it started here in California, actually before Nixon. It started with Ronald Reagan in 1968 here in California. Like how Neely Fuller always says, when this country want to do some bullshit, they oftentimes use California as an incubator for the bullshit. And defunding the schools and making it more business like was a Reagan thing in the 60s here in California that went national with Nixon in 1971. Why am I bringing up this history? Why am I talking about Nixon defunding the school system? And what does this have to do with don't be a dumbass? Well, let me tell you what this has to do with don't be a dumbass. School systems were purposely and systematically dumbed down to make and create a population of dumbasses, right? They slowly took away the things that help you critically think. Music. Music is a number one when it comes to critical thinking skills. Because if you learn music and learn jazz, you're going to have to learn improvisation. Improvisation in music requires acute critical thinking. And it also requires you to know how to let go. It's a paradox. If one requires massive critical thinking skills, while at the same time requiring you to let go of your critical thinking and use your feeling and use the knowledge of your soul within. That's what music does. When you learn music, it teaches you how to critically think and how to not think at all at the same time. So that's what music is: thinking and not thinking at the same time. They take that out. They take out um, the skilled labor classes. You can no longer become an iron worker. You can no longer become a welder or an electrician. You got to go to college for that now. And we're going to start, every president is going to change the curriculum up enough to take more and more critical thinking out of the school system. This is done by design. People aren't stupid by osmosis. And then there are people saying, well, you should educate yourself. You should educate yourself outside of school. Yes, you should. But let's just think logically here. If you're a person that work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, parents work hard. You send your kids somewhere 6, 8 hours a day, you assuming the best is being done for them. All right. So we live in a society that has been purposely dumbed down. They took the good music off the radio and replaced it with plastic, repetitive nonsense that teaches you to think and fit inside this box versus feel. That's why music talk today is top 10 arguments instead of how a song makes them feel. That's why they can get away with all these artists sounding alike. And then when it comes to society, look what happens in the news. If you say, I don't fuck with Biden, they're going to say, you're a Trump supporter. That's what I mean by don't be a dumbass. And that's how we get to my topic for tonight. We have been systematically dumbed down to the point to where if somebody says, I like apples, there's going to be a group of dumbasses in the corner to say, why are you hating on oranges? And you like, what the fuck does this have to do with oranges? I just said I like apples. I like Fiji apples because they're small and crisp. And then here come someone else saying, why are you hating on grapes? That's what I mean by don't be a dumbass. Don't be that person, y'all. Especially to the men out there. I don't see the women do this a lot. Women, I don't know. Women, y'all got your own dynamics y'all have with it being women that most dudes don't pay attention to or see. So I can't speak to that. But I can speak to the fellas. There's a lot of dudes out there that if a person says, I like Cadillacs, the next person comes and says, why are you hating on Lexus? Don't be that guy. Don't be that person. That's being stupid. We should be able to talk about how ain't shit Biden is without somebody else saying you're a Trump supporter. That was okay. That wasn't even cool in 2016, 2017, but I understood because Biden had people Trump had people scared to the motherfucker in 2017. I get it. I don't get it, but I get it. But now, like, dude, are you serious? Are you serious? You still on that? We live in a society to where people, when you express your opinion, they jump right on the other side of that and throw an assumption out there. And then when you check them for that bullshit that they threw out, they want to get sensitive and be like, man, I was just saying. No, you weren't saying shit. Don't be that person, y'all. I got a lot of young people that listen to me. Hey, young people, you in your 20s, 30s, y'all especially were dumbed down. I was dumbed down in my school too. But you niggas was dumbed down way worse. If all you know is what the schoolhouse taught you, I can guarantee you, you're an idiot. You don't know you're an idiot. You're probably a nice person with good intentions. But if your parents and people around you didn't give you any kind of supplemental education, or you didn't educate yourself outside of what you learned in the school system, K through 12, through college, especially through college, and the higher degree you got, the worse you are. If all you know is what was taught to you by them folks, you're an idiot. And I'm not saying that to judge you. I'm saying that to say, stop being an idiot and educate yourself to more than what's fed to you by the mainstream. I ain't judging. It's a call to action. Oh, look at Jupiter. His name is Jupiter from around the way. I plan to meet you. That's on Earth and the Fire's what's that? The Spirit album or the All in All album? Right after Fantasy. That song comes on. Or is it the no, it comes on before Imagination. It's on the Spirit album, I think. Anyway, I forgot. I don't know. One of them albums. But that's what we're talking about tonight. Don't be a dumbass. Just because somebody says something that makes you think or feel a certain way, don't just jump to the other side and get defensive. Because when you do that, you lose an opportunity, one, to learn something from someone else, two, to challenge your own thoughts. I'm always challenging my thoughts. That's why I don't be giving a fuck when I be challenging other people's thoughts. I'm only doing it to you motherfuckers who I do to myself every day. I'm a firm believer in if my point of view is worth two dead flies, you can stand up to questioning. If my point of view can't stand up to a couple questions, then that shit ain't worth having. That's the way I look at it. I don't take it personal, and I ain't perfect. There are certain points of views that I have that ain't shit that I haven't questioned, and I haven't questioned it because it just hasn't come to me to question it. But if it comes to me to question something, I take a look. I know the fuck I ain't perfect, so I'm always questioning. Is what I believe worth believing? Can it stand up to a couple questions? Who, what, where, why, and when? If your point of view can't answer those questions, who, what, where, why, when? See, that's what they do in school. They teach you this stuff. They don't tell you how to use it. What do they tell you in school when you're learning how to write an essay? Remember when you were learning how to write a 5 paragraph essay? You had to answer who, what, where, why, and when. You also had to do that in your book report. Any book report you had to answer who, what, where, why, and when. And then when you did a 5 paragraph essay, you had the introduction, and the introduction is supposed to introduce your main topics. Your next 3 paragraphs are details on you have 3 topics. That's going to be you put those into your introduction, and then your next 3 paragraphs are explaining each topic in detail, and then your final paragraph is the conclusion. Well, in school, in English class, they tell us to do that for a grade. If you do well, you get an A. If you do okay, you do pretty good, you do a B. If you suck, we'll fail you. So you learn this and you do it for a grade. And then once you get whatever grade that is, as long as you pass the course and that grade was good enough to further your education to the next level you wanted to, you didn't think about it again. Because the education system purposely didn't tell you why you answer who, what, where, when, why, and if you can, how. The reason you're supposed to answer those questions is because that's how you question yourself. Is what you're seeing or what you're hearing, is it something to stand on? Is it something of substance you can do something with? Not saying it's always going to be perfectly right, but if I cannot answer who, what, where, when, why, and how, then there's probably some bullshit that I'm being told. Probably. I'm going to lean towards yes, it's probably some bullshit that I'm being told. We have to be able to answer those questions. So, let me give you an example. If somebody says, I don't like Joe Biden, and that offends me, instead of saying, that means you must like Trump, this is what you do. Biden. Who? Biden is already answered Biden. You don't like Joe Biden. What? Now you got to answer what? What did Joe Biden do? That's to be the next question. Well, I appreciate that, Mara, the super chat. Now you ask, okay, who? The who is Joe Biden? The what? What did Joe Biden do to make you not like him? Well, Joe Biden wrote the 1994 crime bill. Joe Biden put in the truth in sentencing provision in the 1994 crime bill that gave states access to $13 billion in federal funds if they create laws similar to federal laws, 3 strikes. Again, another law that started here in California. Pete Wilson bitch ass. I remember I was like 9 when 3 strikes came in. I was like 9 or 10. And so where was I? I was talking about where the fuck was I? I was talking about Joe. Oh yeah, why? I said what? What did Joe Biden do? He created the 1994 crime bill. Where did that crime bill affect people? It affected people nationally, federally, all 50 states. When did he do it? He did this throughout his political career. You can go back to his time in Delaware in the 70s. He's always created laws that seem to specifically target black people. He either created the law or he sponsored the law, like in Strom Thurmond's crack law. He's been around these type laws that seem to target black people. I'm black. How does this affect you? Well, and that's the how. Well, in the neighborhoods that I've lived in, I've seen a destruction. I saw a neighborhood that was once thriving and functioning properly. That now, as I got into later in the 80s and into the 90s, that same neighborhood went to shits. People lost jobs. A lot of people went to jail. A lot of people died. So now, if I want to educate myself, that person's now taught me, and I've taught them why I dislike Joe Biden. See, if I just jump to you must like Trump, I missed the whole opportunity to educate myself on something. If I want to educate myself as to why I don't like a person like a Joe Biden, did you see I was able to easily answer who, what, where, why, and how. And you see, it doesn't take a whole hodgepodge of words. When you are telling yourself the truth and when you are grounded in what you know, you can answer people's questions in a few words. You don't need, because I can't say when I talk to these people, they be like, well, see, what I'm trying to do, listen here, champ. Yeah, so what it is I'm trying to get together is I got this plan, right? And see, with this plan I got here, can you dig it? With this plan, what we was going to do, we got these kids and we got some tour buses. And my homeboy got on tour, he got access to these tour buses. And check it. What I was thinking was, and the plan was, we wrote a whole proposal down. Me, DeAndre, Andre, Evan, Chris, we got together, and the plan is to get these tour buses. And when we get these tour buses, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the kids on the tour buses, and Skid Row, it's mad homeless out there in Skid Row, man. Black people losing all their houses, and because black people losing their houses and they on Skid Row, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these tour buses and we're gonna get these kids, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the kids and get the kids to feed the homeless. When you get somebody talking like that, they ain't talking about shit. If you're that person that talks like that, you ain't talking about shit. You just wasting people's time. So, so hit the like button, y'all. So that's the world we in right now. If someone says something that you don't like, ask them who, what, where, why, and how. They may not be. How is an optional question, but you got to be able to answer who, what, where, when, and why. The why, especially the why. And if you have yourself and you can't answer when you look in the mirror, just say you have a particular point of view that's been coming up in your mind. It's kind of people around you been questioning it. You get mad every time they question it. You keep running into this wall. You have a point of view about anything in particular. I don't know. We all have to live our own lives. Something that you say that the people around you look at you crazy. You gotta be able to look in the mirror and say, okay, you gotta be able to answer who, what, when, where, and why. Who? What that means? What? Who's the problem? Who is it? What did that thing or entity do to make you mad? Where did it affect you? When did it happen? How does it matter in the world that we live in? Why do you care? How does it affect you? And if you can answer those questions clear and concisely, you have a legitimate gripe. But if you can't answer those questions concisely and clear, I don't know. You might be bullshitting yourself. Text messages and shit. Text messages popped up. Y'all there? There we go. So that's what I'm saying here. Don't be a dumbass. And here's, you may ask yourself, okay, when if you may this is a choir call. This is an altar call for y'all. There's some people in the audience right now who this is affected. Yes, Lord. Come into the church of Dwan B and cash at me. Don't pray, just pay, and I'll show you the way. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But if this is you, how do you fix it? Good question. Let me tell you. Oh, Taurus is bright in the sky tonight. See that V? Yeah. Gemini. Oh, that's the Gemini back there. How do you fix it? If somebody says things and whatever that thing is, it affects you and it ruffles your emotions, then that means whatever that is affecting you on some level. You have to ask yourself, why is this thing affecting me? Why, when people say I don't like ABC person or ABC political party or ABC agenda or TV show, Why does that affect me in such a way where I'm stressing over what that motherfucker I don't even know like that thinks? You got to ask yourself that question. Why is what this person who ain't paying my bills, why, even if they are paying your bills, especially if they ain't, why is their opinion on fill in the blank topic, why does that make me feel XYZ? That's what you have to ask yourself. People all day, think about it. 99% of what people say all day, you're not going to have any kind of reaction to. If somebody says, the sky is green, you ain't going to argue with them. You're going to be like, that nigga said the sky is green. Okay, cool. Keep going. You know? People give opinions about things all day. People, you may have a conversation and you hear somebody say, I like my grass cut low in my house. And then they're going to be like, and talking to somebody else, be like, I don't even have grass. I have a desert, low rider layout to my lawn. You don't have a lawn. So you're going to hear them say that. And their opinions on the lawn ain't going to mean anything to you because you don't have a lawn or you have a lawn and you don't care. You water the grass and you turn the sprinklers on, then the gardener take care of it. You don't care. So their opinion isn't going to affect you. You don't keep walking. Then you gonna walk past, you can come amongst some other friends, and what are y'all talking about? They're gonna be talking about trees. I like the eucalyptus tree versus some other tree. And you're gonna be like, cool, you're not gonna give a fuck which tree they like, because you don't give a fuck about trees, right? Then you're gonna walk to the next set of friends. And they're gonna say, I like this political party over that political party. Then you're gonna start feeling your blood boil. You're gonna be like, hold on. How can this person think that political party is better than this political party? Or that politician is better than that? I can't. What's wrong with this person? That's when you got to say, why did this conversation get control of my emotion when I just had 20 other conversations today about something and neither side I gave a fuck about? Why is this particular topic fucking with my head? What's going on here? That's when you have to sit down and take the time to investigate. And investigation doesn't mean you're going to be wrong. It doesn't mean you're going to be right. It means investigate and find out what it is. Because maybe you get that emotional reaction because you used to think this particular way. And you see the end result of how thinking that way works and manifests. So you may have a legitimate gripe into having this kind of emotion. God damn, that motherfucker's a bright ass lights. You may, you really may, honestly, 100,000% from your heart, have a genuine gripe for having said emotion. You just might. Or you may ask the who, what, when, where, and why, and realize I only think this way because my mom voted for that particular party. I only think this way because my teacher told me this particular thing is going whoopty whamp, a yada yada, a bing bang, whatever. You know, that's when you gotta ask yourself, okay, now I'm feeling this way because of some superficial bullshit. Now, what's the next question? Is this particular way I'm feeling, is it worth holding on to? Is the stress, the emotional reaction I'm giving when people disturb this particular reality that I believe, is that something that I want to continue to allow to manipulate my emotions? Again, these are my emotions. Why am I allowing some bullshit to manipulate something that's mine? I don't own the Democratic Party. I don't own um, this particular politician. So why am I allowing someone's opposition to this politician I don't even own? Why am I allowing that to disturb what I do own? And that's my emotions. You own your emotion. You do own that. That's your real estate. You own your emotions more than you own your house. Don't pay your property taxes and find out how much you own your house. I don't care if that bitch is paid off. Don't pay them taxes and see how much you own your house. Pay your car note off, but don't pay that registration and see how much you own that car. You can go buy your car cash right now. Don't register that bitch and see how much you own it. But can't nobody repossess your emotions. Your emotions is something that you have to offer someone to give. You have to give those away. You have to offer those for people to take them, for things to take your emotions. That means on some level, whether consciously or subconsciously, and we must remember 90 to 95% of all brain activity is subconscious. You may not know, as a matter of fact, I'm 99% sure you don't even know you're offering your emotions. You don't even know that. It feels like an involuntary response. Why? Going back to how I started tonight, the programming, the education. They don't teach you that. The propaganda is from the age you first on the TV. You ain't shit unless you have that toy. You're the cool kid when you have these shoes. When you have this new electronic that's coming out from Fisher Price. If you don't have that, you ain't shit. Go to church. If you don't drive this car, if you don't wear that suit, you ain't shit. You go to school. If this ain't your GPA and you don't wear those clothes, you ain't shit. Been trained to believe everything is external and all validation comes from outside versus within. That's what we've been trained. This isn't something that we volunteer for. This is something that a very smart society, the people who engineer the society, the social engineers, this is something that they understand that we don't collectively. I'm not saying you don't as an individual, I'm talking as a collective. This is something that they understand and we don't. You did drop my blunt. Where'd that shit go? Here we go. Here we go. So we have to make sure that we own. We're taught that everything's external. It's not. Everything starts with us. You're the one. You, me, we. We're the one. That's why funk music is so uniting. It comes together. Everything comes back to the one. Everything comes back to one. Everything is on the one. Go back and listen to the clones of Dr. Funkenstein album. Shit. You meet in life the exact reproduction of your thoughts. Remember that. We all meet in life the exact reproduction of your thoughts. Okay? So when you go through life and you constantly get triggered by other people's points of view on things, then you being a dumbass and you don't even know it. Unconsciously. You didn't choose to be one. The purpose of tonight is to wake up that sensibility within you and start asking questions. Why do I think the way I think? Why do I feel the way I feel? Why do I give 1/3 of a fuck? And why am I offering my emotions to entities that don't pay my black ass bills? Get it? Motherfucking check. Somebody in the comments said, after one of my last videos, they said, "Ew, I wish you could do less cursing." No, I understand my sister, my brother. I don't want to misgender you, whoever said that. But let me tell you something, let me tell you something, let me tell you something, let me tell you something. I'm going to cuss. Because everybody who's ever told me the truth cussed to me. The people who bullshitted me most in life wore three-piece suits, didn't say a cuss word, pronounced all of their syllables and vowels right, and ended up doing some bullshit. So I'm going to paint my picture with the brushes that I choose. Now, everybody ain't going to like the picture the way it come out or the tools I use, and that's fine because everything ain't for everybody. But it is for those who appreciate my style of art. So, in closing, FYI, just in love, don't tell the artiste which brushes to use and how to stroke the art. Shut the fuck up and listen. Or listen to somebody else. Yiddy. You're right, Quan. The internet is the worst and the best thing that happened to us. I've always hated that corny shit too. I'm not gonna cuss in front of people on camera, but I'm gonna cuss every day of my life. Fuck out of here. Like you parents, it be some of y'all parents out there, y'all be some jackasses. Y'all won't let y'all kids watch movies with cussing in it, but you act a goddamn ass all day in front of your kids, talking shit about their daddy. That car is actually kind of fast right there. All right, I ain't mad at that muffler. If you really gonna be pushing like that, I ain't even mad. But I see that shit all the time working with families. Kids can't watch certain TV shows, but parents act the ass all day in front of their kids, cussing, sometimes not even cussing, just saying all kind of bad things about people that they love all day, acting a motherfucking ass. I don't believe in I don't believe in putting on fronts. I believe in man being raw. I'm me. If you ever meet me, I'm the same motherfucker on shit. We was at the FBA rally. We was at the after party. What was I doing at the after party? I got to that motherfucker. I'm sitting across the street. Shouts out to Ricky Francis that be in the chat out there. Ricky was cool in the motherfucker. Ricky be in the chat room. I saw a nigga sit out there. He wrote this nice blunt. I was like, he's like, you down to smoke? I said, am I? Let's do this. Uh, What's up, Breeze? Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm the same motherfucker. That's why I smoke on camera. I be telling y'all about my mushroom trips. Man, last Friday's mushroom trip, man, that shit was great. I wanted to shroom in Vegas last night, but me and the wife, after we dropped Dr. Randy's shirt off, it was this lounge downstairs, and it was a whole vibe, good music and shit. Sounded good until they started playing blues. White people can't play blues. You just can't. Blues has a certain grease to it. You can't fake it. You cannot fake the blues. And that band was good till they went to the blues. They should have stayed away from the blues. They would have had a perfect night. White musicians, white musicians play on top of the blues. You can't play on top of no fucking blues. You gotta feel the blues. And if you feel it, it ain't shit. If you don't feel it, it ain't shit. That's right, Biz Martie. You might as well be having dudes in and out the house, but telling the kids that they can't play Grand Theft Auto. You don't get the fuck out of my face. But I had a long drive from Vegas, so shit, that was a good hit. Ooh, that last hit was good. I'm about to go lay my ass down. I had a great ride from Vegas. Give me my shit. Hotepish.com/shop. Book your readings too, because the beginning of the year is coming. Y'all want to see what y'all next year is gonna be looking like. Book your readings. I think I'm going to do a reading show tomorrow. I got some toothless issues, so hopefully I'm not doing a show tomorrow because I need to get to my dentist on some emergency shit. So hopefully, I've been I've been talking to y'all this whole show with the right side of my mouth in pain. I'm a champion, nigga. I had a thought, so I want to talk to y'all, but I can't talk no more. So hopefully I'm not talking to y'all tomorrow because my dentist is taking care of my issue. But if I am talking to y'all tomorrow, it's because the dentist can't get me into the next day after that. I want to do a reading show. That's gonna be my next show that I do. I'm gonna do a reading show. So hopefully not tomorrow. But if my dentist couldn't get me in, then yes, it'll be tomorrow. All right. And remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages. Those willing to pick up the game. I'm out. Don't be a dumbass.